Keen Nation, what is going on, man? It's your boy Emmanuel Keen, and today you see it in the title. We are going to be going over how to mix melodic rap vocals. Who's popping right now, man? Roddy Ricch, Lil Baby, Young Thug. The Baby, he does melodic sometimes, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video, fam. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Stay in that like button, 'cause I hit my, y'all see this? Hold on. Y'all probably can't see it, but like I scraped my knuckles because I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to, nah, that's not really what happened. But I scraped my knuckles and, you know, it's kind of bleeding a little bit. So that kind of hurt. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Stay that like button because we a movement, boy. Let's get it. Keen Nation, what is going on, man? Welcome to the channel, man. We live in a era today, okay? We have diverted into a new era, and that is the melodic modern rap vocal era. We've definitely had regular rap vocals that beat bop, or no, not beat bop, excuse me, Jesus, boom bap, right? Boom bap, where you have artists that just pretty much they attack the instrumental. They're not really singing on it. They just really going in, giving bars, giving lyricism, really going crazy. That was in the old, okay? We're transferring into the new. And you can credit that to T-Pain. You can credit that to Lil Wayne, Drake. You can credit that to those people because they legitimately started. Well, they didn't start. I guess they made it more popular. So now you hear everybody doing it. Everybody in the modern rap era doing it. So we want to learn exactly how to mix those vocals because if everybody's doing it and that's the trend that the rap game is going towards, we want to try to implement that within our little, you know what I'm saying, our game too, so that we can be just as dope. You feel me? So without further ado, bam, look at the screen, man. This is Envy. It's a song that I came out with a few months ago, maybe 6 or 7 months ago. It went absolutely up. Check it out. It's going crazy on TikTok. It's going crazy on all streaming platforms. Super dope. So I went ahead and said, hey, let me show y'all exactly how I mix this because I am in fact implementing the melodic modern rap vocal within this song. So let's go ahead and get right into it, fam. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bypass all of these plugins that you guys see right here, and I'm gonna show you guys. Ooh, okay, that was my light, you feel me? My little, you see the purple, the little subtle purple, you feel me? It kind of fell over, but it's good. Anyways, so boom, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bypass all these vocals so that you guys can hear exactly what it sounds like before, and then I'm gonna pass them. I'm gonna enable the vocal again, the vocal chain again, so that you guys can hear it afterwards. So let's go ahead and get right into it, fam. I'm so sorry. Please, y'all, for your ears, let me lower. Well, for me, I need to lower it. I'm sorry for y'all ears, man. Y'all might want to turn the volume down just a little bit. I see you way on them heavily. Hey, sauce with the drip. I'm a motherfucking boss in this bitch, man. I feel like Randy Moss with the grip. Got a lock on the chick, though. Babies in the east, I forget, man. She practically choke when she spit. I'm a name, colder than the ice in the freeze. Got her wetter than a 2-liter. Okay, so that is it with all of the plugins disengaged. Let's go ahead and engage all of these plugins. See what we got. I see you way on them heavily. Hey, sauce with the drip. I'm a motherfucking boss in this bitch, man. I feel like Randy Moss with the grip. Got a lock on the chick, though. Babies in the east, I forget, man. She practically choke when she spit. I'm a name, colder than the ice in the freeze. Okay, so that is it with the all of the plugins engaged. Now, oh, let me, okay, let me go ahead and disengage the auto-tune too, because that's what melodic rap vocals is about, man. I ain't afraid to show y'all what the vocals sound like without the auto-tune. I can sing, you feel me? If you really heard me for real, I can sing. I think my vocals was going through some craziness at this point in time, but let me go ahead and disengage the auto-tune as well so that you guys can hear the real raw feel of what we got going on. I'm not finna, here we go. We finna just go ahead and kind of skip ahead. Name colder than the ice in the freeze. Got a wetter than a 2-liter. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga. My drive on a whole nother level. Okay, so it didn't sound that bad. You feel me? It don't sound that bad, okay? But that is what it sounds like. Raw, uncut, unscripted. That's what the vocals sound like, okay? So let's go ahead and go over we ain't gonna go. We're gonna go over everything, but we're not gonna go into intricate depth. Y'all comment down below and let me know if y'all want me to go into intricate depth as to what I did specifically. But we'll just go over a brief basis and kind of give you guys a foundation on what you're supposed to do whenever it comes down to melodic rap vocals. Now, do not copy this vocal chain verbatim. Please don't. Okay? Don't do that. Do not copy this vocal chain verbatim. That is not what music is about. That's not what engineering is about. Engineering is about taking your sound, your own sound, and sculpting it and molding it into what you want it to be, not what others want it to be. Okay? So please take that into consideration. So, what do we do when it comes down to melodic rap vocals? The first thing that we do is we have to engage auto-tune. Okay? That is the very first thing that we must engage is auto-tune. Why? Because that is a pitch correction. Okay? It takes the transients within that waveform and it sculpts it and molds it, as I said before, into the pitch or the key that the instrumental is in, right? So, what's the instrumental in? I'm not finna go over all the etceteras, okay? That's what I'm not finna do, but the instrumental is clearly in C minor. How do I know that? I went ahead and found the key to the song. If you guys want to know how to find the key to a song, I should probably upload a specific tutorial on that. I probably will. But go to my auto-tune tutorials. I will show you guys legitimately how to find the key to a song. So I uploaded the instrumental. I found the key. What's the key, Keen? The key is C minor. As you guys can clearly see up there, I'm hovering over it right now. The key is C minor. So what are we going to put the auto-tune in? C minor, right? So let's go ahead and, okay, come on, man. Stop playing with me. I got a lot of storage going on in this computer, so sometimes I get this circle of death. Stop playing with me, man. Jesus. All right, so this is the auto-tune, as you guys can clearly see. C, key, minor, scale. Scale minor, C key. C minor. Okay, so that is the key to this instrumental. As you guys can clearly see, that is what I have it set to. Now, I have it set to 15. Some melodic rap artists go retune speed all the way to 0. Okay, they'll turn it all the way down to 0 specifically because they want to have that robotic sound. They want to have that robotic, I guess, way or that robotic feel whenever, you know, they come on. You feel me? But me personally, I like to have a lot of humanization. I like to sound a little bit more natural specifically. So I will go ahead and I'll put this retune speed at 15. 20 to 15 is pretty much my stomping grounds. That's kind of the range as to what I do when it comes down to auto-tune, right? So that's what this retune speed is. The retune speed is retuning your voice to the key that the instrument is in, the instrumental is in, okay? So know that, note that, all that, okay? So boom, right? That is the auto-tune, and that's what I have it set to. Also, I forgot to mention as well, let me bring this up, that I have the humanize on 100, okay? Like I said, I like to sound human. I like to have a little bit of humanization to my voice, so I have the humanization to 100, okay? All the way up. If you don't want to sound like a human at all, then take human away, okay? You're at 0 at that point, right? So, boom. That is that. Now, I have buses going out, and this is when you set up an aux input, okay? I got an instrumental on how to create buses and aux inputs. We getting a little bit advanced now, okay? This channel has been going for about 7 months, okay? If y'all been watching my tutorials, y'all should have been watching my tutorials so you know what I'm talking about, all right? I've got an aux input set up, bus 3, and it's going to this reverb right here. So as you guys can see, this is the reverb, right? And I have the wetness up, I have the tail up because I really want you guys to hear the reverb, all right? I don't want like no subtle. I really want you guys to hear that reverb. I want it to bang. You feel me? So I have the wetness set to, you know, close to the maximum setting, and I have the tail, which means it's that tail end of the reverb that kind of trails off after the vocal has been said, right? So I have the tail turned up as well, and I have the reverb time at like a moderate setting. This can go up, right? It can go all the way up to 6, but I kind of got it at 4. It's kind of like in the middle, you know what I'm saying? So I have it right there, and we'll keep it right there, okay? So now I have another bus, right? Another aux input that's set up, and this is the delay, okay? Now this is that that delay is usually used on lead vocals to kind of fill up that background space, right? That empty space that's in the background so that the vocal could sound a lot more full, and you can add depth within that vocal, right? So let me go ahead and play it, and I will disengage the delay so that you see what I'm talking about.
Name colder than the ice in the freeze. Gotta wetter than a too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. You asked me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money at the sad little nigga. My drive on a whole nother level. You settle for an ugly ass broad on your dick.
So as you guys can see, especially after I just got through stopping it, you kind of heard those little remnants of that vocal kind of fading away. Okay, that is the delay. That is what fills in that kind of that dark space, that empty space behind the vocals for it to sound a lot more full. You want to make sure that you do that whenever it comes down to melodic rap vocals, because you want to give depth, you want to give character to that vocal, right? And if you don't have that, your vocal's not going to have no character. And we like to have we're very charismatic, okay? We're very personable. We have personality. So we're going to implement this delay here, okay? So those are the auxes that I have set up here for the lead vocal here. So let's go ahead and get into, I guess I kind of did this backwards, but it's all good, okay? Y'all going to understand which one way or another. So I have this this vocal EQ, okay? So I've got it, excuse me, the high pass filter, right? Which means that we're passing the highs on here, and I've got it set to about 170 hertz. So this is pretty thin, okay? I'm kind of spreading the vocal out pretty thin, and I guess I did this specifically because, hey, you know, maybe the vocals were muddy specifically, so I said, you know what, let me go ahead and dial this up at 170 hertz. This is kind of high, you know what I'm saying, but this is what I did, so I'm not going to change it, okay? I got this at 170 hertz, and I went ahead and scooped out a little bit of mids and add some brightness on the top end, because we want brightness. We want to have that crisp, we want to give that vocal up some bite, okay? So I went ahead and added some brightness, and this is what it sounds like with and without.
My name colder than the ice in the freeze. Gotta wetter than a too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. You asked me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money at the sad little nigga.
So you guys hear that, okay? It's a subtle difference, but it's a difference nonetheless, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the compression and what I did here, right? You always want to make sure you add some compression, because you want to compress the vocal. You don't want the vocal sounding here, sounding there with it, going high, going low. As you guys can clearly see, this is a dynamic performance. Let me go ahead and enlarge it for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is a dynamic performance. What does that mean? That means that what I am singing is very volatile. There's a lot of hoes. Excuse me, y'all. There's a lot of lows in here, and there's a lot of highs, as you guys should clearly see, right? Low, high. So in order to level all of this out and have a equal and a leveled vocal, and it has to be pleasing, right, pleasurable to the listening ear, we need to level all of this out. And the way that we do that is by bringing the lows high and by bringing the highs low, and we do that with compression. So I have this FabFilter Pro C2 on here, as you guys can clearly see. I've got the threshold turned, and I've got the ratio. Now, granted, the threshold is not that high, you know what I'm saying? The threshold is not turned all the way up. Excuse me. I still want to kill that natural. I want to keep that natural feel to the vocal, so I didn't put the threshold here. I didn't really smash that threshold nor the ratio. I've got an easy attack and an easy release on here, just so that, you know, it still is compressing, right? We're bringing those highs low and we're bringing those lows high. It's still doing this thing as to what it needs to do, but it's not smashing it, okay?
My name colder than the ice in the freeze. Gotta wetter than a too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. You asked me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money at the sad little nigga.
So that sounds absolutely amazing, okay? Let's go ahead and get into this de-esser. Now, the de-esser is a form of compression. It is a form of compression, but it's a targeted compression. And the reason why I say that is because with de-essing, a de-esser specifically targets a frequency that minimizes the S's, that minimizes the sibilance in that vocal, okay? So that is what the de-esser is, and I have this pretty smashed, okay? Now, you have to take into consideration whenever you apply a de-esser, okay, you are indeed affecting the higher frequency of that vocal. So when you do that, you have to make up for it, and that's what this multi-band compression is for, but we will get into that after this, right? So I went ahead and I dialed in about negative 30 decibel dB for the DS so that we can get rid of those S's, get rid of that sibilance, and this is what it sounds like.
My name colder than the ice in the freeze. Gotta wetter than a 2 liter. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga.
So as you guys can clearly see, those S's are like they're I don't want to say they're non-existent because we definitely hear them now, but we hear less of it. Okay, so that is very, very important. Make sure that you write that down, okay? Or just rewind or replay because this is the video, so you can go back. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the multi-band compression, man. This is the C4, as you guys can see, man. As I said before, with a de-esser, because it's a targeted compression and it pretty much takes away that bite, it takes away some of that top end whenever you're de-essing something. I then elevated it here with the multi-band compression, and it was still sounding a little muddy to me, right? So I went ahead and took away some more lows, dialing here at about maybe 100 hertz or so, and went ahead and lowered that. Took away some of that mid as well, and dialed in that higher frequency range for what we've lost, right? We for that attenuation on that de-esser, and I added some brightness, had to give it some bite, so this is what it sounds like.
My name colder than the ice in the freeze. Gotta wetter than a 2 liter. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga. My drive on a whole nother level. You settle for an ugly ass broad on your dick. That's me, I'm cool, I know I can do better. I don't really know the definition of a downgrade. Hit a sound wave when they peep a nigga vibe.
So you see that made a significant difference, man. What did that do? That really did take away that muddiness because I heard that, right? As I said before, I went to this EQ from the beginning of it, the beginning of the vocal chain, and I took away 170. As I said before, that is a lot, okay? Usually vocals don't require that, but I believe I recorded this in a closet, and it had a lot of low frequencies that was just bouncing everywhere around, so that was needed, okay? I needed to take away 170 hertz so that the vocal can sound normal, all right? Even after I did that, I went to the multi-band compression and said, yo, this still sounds muddy. Let me dial in some more dial out, I guess you could say, this lower frequency range so that it could sound more like a normal vocal. And as you guys can clearly see, that is what was needed for this vocal when I went with this C4, okay? So that's that.
My name colder than the ice in the freeze. Gotta wetter than a 2 liter. Maybe it's the talk.
Sounds a lot more controlled, and now we can definitely work with it, okay? So boom, we have done that. The vocal sounds a lot more controlled, but now I am a person that loves presence. I love presence within my vocals. So the way that I do that is I always double compress. I want to say always, but for the most part, I will double compress in my audio chain just to add some more presence and bring that vocal to the front of the beat. And I did that with the CLA 76. Now, the revisions in terms of Blackie and Bluey are different. I guess for whatever reason, I decided that I was going to go with the Bluey because of the character that it sounds, and the character that it gives with the CLA 76. And this is honestly effect compressor that just gives it more presence, right? Gives it that more upfront, in your face feel, because I want you guys to hear what I'm talking about, okay? So let's go ahead and go over it.
My name colder than the ice in the freeze. Gotta wetter than a 2 liter. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga. My drive on a whole nother level. You settle for an ugly ass broad on your dick. That's me, I'm cool, I know I can do better.
Okay, so very, very subtle, okay? Very, very subtle, but it definitely does bring that vocal to the forefront more so than what it was before I engaged it, right? So, super dope. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay, so I did this Pro Q2 again, dialed out some of that low end. Like I said before, I need this to sound what I want it to sound like. So I dialed out a little bit more low end. Now, granted, we pretty much took everything out around 100 hertz, you know, but just to do it just a little bit more. You feel me? I went ahead and applied this low cut brick wall here. As you guys can see, that's the preset. And just to dial out some of those lower frequencies.
Name colder than the ice in the freeze. Got away that dinner too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga.
It sounds absolutely amazing, man. So what did I do with this here? I got 2 Pro Qs. Oh no, excuse me. I went ahead and add a little bit more bite. Okay, here at the end, need a little bit more. Some more brightness, okay? Look, needs to sound a little bit more airy, a little bit more crisp. So I went ahead and added this Pro Q2 right here and kind of dialed up went ahead and boosted it by 2 dB at the 9,000 hertz range so that you guys can hear some of that brightness within the vocal.
Name colder than the ice in the freeze. Got away that dinner too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga. My drive on a whole nother level.
Okay, so that is what I did there. And for the pièce de résistance, right? I went ahead and added an imager on here. If you guys can really pay attention to this part, and it's the last part of the tutorial, but I added an imager on here because it added width and it added width. I can't talk. It added width and it added depth to the vocal, man. That is super duper important because it's that little subtle difference in the width of the vocal that gives it a professional sound, that gives it, you know, that oomph, that extra whatever it is that's needed for those people that don't really understand the terminology of engineering to say, I don't know what the difference is, but this sounds a lot more professional than what I hear on SoundCloud or what I hear on, you know, just people that just make music and from an amateur standpoint, okay? S1 imager is super duper important, and I use it for this vocal. Now I don't use it all the time, but I thought it was needed for this vocal, especially after I dialed out a lot of that low end, which really kind of gives, it definitely gives it a more clear and concise, more crisp vocal. It definitely does that for sure, but you also lose character, depth, and width with that whenever you dial out so much low end, right? So I went ahead and added this imager to make up for that.
Name colder than the ice in the freeze. Got away that dinner too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga. My drive on a whole nother level. You settle for ugly ass broad on your dick. That's me. I'm cool. I know I can do better. I don't really know the definition of a downgrade. Hit a sound wave when they peep a nigga vibration and hit the lane switch, smoking grade A. Name colder than the ice in the freeze. Got away that dinner too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either.
So you guys can clearly hear the difference between what it sounded like before and what it sounded like after, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a quick before and an after. I did not expect this tutorial to go 20 minutes long. I promise you I didn't, but all of this was needed, and I hope you guys take this information and apply it to what you do whenever you guys start mixing your vocals as well. So I will give you guys a before and an after and show you guys a significant difference between what it sounds like and after I touch it up. You feel me? After I sauce it up, after I cook it up. You feel me? Melted butter. You feel me? I cook it up, bro. I'm a chef. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and play the before and after. Oops. Let me bypass these so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right.
Name colder than the ice in the freeze. Got away that dinner too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga. My drive on a whole nother level. You settle for ugly ass broad on your dick. That's me. I'm cool. I know I can do better. I don't really know the definition of a downgrade. Hit a sound wave when they peep a nigga vibration and hit the lane switch, smoking grade A. Name colder than the ice in the freeze. Got away that dinner too late. Maybe it's the talk, maybe it's the walk. If you ask me, man, I couldn't really tell you either. Bad little nigga getting money out the sad little nigga. My drive on a whole nother level. You settle for ugly ass.
Sounds like a completely different song, don't it? Sounds like a completely different song, man. So, hey, man, if you guys have any questions as far as mixing and mastering, please go to the description below. I have my email set up. If you guys need anything in terms of tips, tricks, whatever you want, when it comes down to mixing and mastering, man, I got that. I got that for y'all, fam. So thank y'all so much for tuning into this. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with all your engineering friends. You know what I'm saying? We out here. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to see y'all in the next one, man. Gang.